you're given a quadratic pattern, you're given a table, first difference, second difference. You want to come up with a quadratic pattern, and you want to come up with the explicit function. Okay, so this is if you're looking for the explicit function. You want to write it. You want to find it. Okay, and so this is why it's extra credit. Okay, you obviously are really good at finding the second difference. That's not a problem. So even though it's extra credit, I will have students that'll at least give me the A value because it's really easy. So they'll at least give me the A value. Maybe they won't move on to to B and C, sorry, but they will still go forward. Okay, so here we go. This is your second difference. Always, 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 the second difference is always divided by 2, and that's your A value. Right there. And that's why you guys are really good with it, because you can all find your second difference, right? So this second difference divided by 2, that's your A value. So if my second difference is positive 4, and I divide it by 2, that is my A value. So my A value is 2. Yeah? So A is going to be 2. So far, right, I have y equal to x squared plus bx plus c. And so some students on quizzes and tests, they'll give me that. And it's perfect, at least you got that far. Okay, because it's extra credit. I mean, grab the point. Okay, so now how do we get the b and c? Okay, the c is your y-intercept. Okay, so that's kind of where that thinking comes from. So if you're kind of like, why is she always going back to 0? It's because it's the y-intercept. So the more that kind of makes sense in your head, it'll go back to it. And since we graph so much of lines and quadratic functions in here, it should help. But really, it's im3 with the y-intercept, which is why it kicks into trig. Okay, so I need to know what the 0 figure is. I have to know what this is so I can find my C value. And so typically, you guys always has to go backwards. And that's where now students sometimes just stop and they say, I'll just get my A credit and I won't find the C credit, okay? Okay, so look, here's how you find it. If you guys all agree that it's going up by 4, and from 3 to 10 is 7, and 10 to 21 is 11, and 21 to 36 is 15. So you got to know your pattern. What would this number be here if I'm trying to backtrack it?
3.
Do you guys agree? It's 3. Do you want to think about it? Thanks. He says it's 3. He's correct. But do you guys want to? He says this is 3. Because look, it is 4, so he's right. Okay, so then what would this number be then? No, because look, okay, so for those of you going -1, you're looking at the 4. Okay, so look, from 3 to 10, I added 7 and I got 10. From 10 plus 11 gave me 21. So if this is a 3, what plus 3 gives me 3? What number plus 3 equals 3?
0.
0. So this is a part where you kind of have to think about it, and because you're going backwards. So if the second difference is 4, right? So 11 and 15. So now think subtraction. What is? There we go. Okay. What is 15 minus 4? 11. What's 11 minus 4? 7. What's 7 minus 4? 3. Okay, so now 36 minus 15 gives me 21. 21 minus 11 gives me 10. 10 minus 7 gives me 3. So 3 minus 3, because remember you're inverse operating, right? You're going opposite, so if you're adding, you're subtracting, 0. Okay, so if I'm going backwards on the table, the figure 0 has 0 boxes. Okay. No, you're fine. Okay, so numbers kind of make sense? All right, you need this for the C value because this is your y-intercept. If x is 0, 0 squared is 0. Any number of b times 0 is 0. So when I substitute 0, that y value is what the C value is. And so this number ends up being the y value to that. When the input is 0, your y output is the C value. So C is equal to 0. So far, I now have y equal to x squared plus bx plus 0. Okay, so now what's the next step? I need to find the b value. Remember, we're doing quadratics. Okay, you always have the figure 1. So this is usually always given to you because obviously in a pattern, you need the first figure, right? Okay. So this is the one that gives you your b value, but you need to do some arithmetic. So we'll use green then. So you're gonna look at the b. When x is 1, y is 3, right? When you substitute 1, you get 3. So if this is what I have so far, if I let the point when x is 1, y is 3, because that's where it is right here, right? Let's box it. And I substitute that in what I have above, I'll get my b value. So here we go. When y is 3 and x is 1, 2, 1 squared plus b, right, to the first power plus 0, solve that. And by the way, I mean, I'm writing it legitimately, but what it comes out to is that number 3 is equal to a plus b plus c, but since we know a is 2 and c is 0, I know it looks a little complicated here, but this is what it ends up being. All right, because right, x squared, 1 squared is 1. X, it's 1. So it really just ends up being a plus b plus c, and whatever the y value is in the table, and it's 3. Okay, so what do you get? This is just 1, that's 1. All right, so 3 is equal to 2 plus b, and so what's the value of b? It's 1. And so your quadratic equation is 2x squared plus 1x plus 0. And that is your explicit function. And so like I said, it is always, always, always extra credit. You can go as far as you can. You are going to get quadratic patterns in here. And I will always let you know, I'm now talking extra credit. If you want to listen, great. If you don't, great. But I'll do the work with you guys. Alright? Yeah. Okay, I'll wait like another minute and then because if I save the video, remember, it goes back to the beginning. So that all disappears. Or I could stop it now. You guys can let it buffer load and then I can show it again. Okay, let me, well, wait. Let me see where he is. No, next year. Yeah. What is it? Oh, no, you put it in there. I thought it was. But it is close now. Okay, so let me just